Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. A lot of the requests which come to me or even in the comment section or on my WhatsApp or on my email are about concerning about videos or to post videos about relationships. And there are a lot of questions that also come around relationship challenges, how or where to find a better match or to match the horoscopes and so on. So relationships are surely an important agenda for a lot of people in their lives, and many lives are also going through huge ups and downs because of relationships. If the relationship is not going well, then there are many other factors which could also be ill affected. For example, health, your confidence level, your motivation, your ability to be able to concentrate on work, your ability to be able to enjoy a social life, and your ability to be able to have a good family life. Everything could also be affected. So it's important that if there is one thing which you should surely get right or try and get it right, it's the relationship which one needs to get it right. So in a number of my videos I do talk about the relationship factor, and that's why my channel is one of the few channels, if I can claim maybe even the only channel, which has one of the most videos on Darakaraka, on the 7th house placements of the Navmanch, relationship between the 7th house and the Navmanch planets going into D1 and vice versa. So I've done a lot of videos around relationships because this is important factor in our lives and one of sometimes maybe the most important. And around these I have also posted number of polls, and I have also done a lot of videos around the relationship between the 7th house and the 7th house lord's placement, also yogas or doshas placed in the 7th house, then the challenges in the Navmanch and so on. Now, one of the other important factors, not the most, but one of the important factors also, which probably I have not focused too much attention on, though I have talked about it flitzingly here and there, is the relationship between the 7th house lord and the Darakaraka. Now, if you pay attention to a number of factors which are affecting your relationship, one of the factors is the factor of having a lot of differences with the partner. Now, when you look at the ascendant, which is you, and when you look at the 7th house lord, you will find that in no ascendant will you have a 7th house lord which is friendly to the Lagna lord. None of the ascendants have a friendly opposite house or opposite house lord, which means the zodiac itself is planned for your ascendant to be complementary and different from your 7th house lord, from what your spouse's manifestation will be. Then how can you want or prefer that your spouse should be like you, exactly like you, or similar like you? Assuming that I am so much adventure loving, I wish I had a more adventure loving spouse. I am so much into social life, I wish my spouse was also into social life. She is more of an introvert. I like, or I am so spiritual, I wish my spouse was also spiritual and spiritual like me. Then you are defying what the zodiac wants to give you. The zodiac is telling you that a person is not complete in himself or herself. You are completed by the complementary forces, the opposing energies which come into your life as a balance. Which is the 7th house sign? It is the sign of Libra. What is the symbol of Libra? The weigh scale, the balance. So what is the zodiac telling us? The zodiac is screaming at us that in your relationship you need to have a balance with your opposite person, your opposite partner, and that is how it is meant to be. The Kalpurush Kundli, the Kalpurush horoscope tells us how the relationships should be panned out basis the houses. Aries sign ruled by Mars shows that you need to have a lot of energy, a lot of willpower, a lot of goal orientation to be able to do much in life, and you should have a lot of energy to live your life. However, you also need to have better balance towards your better half, because the 7th house sign is Libra. So because you are supposed to have the balance, any ascendant lord that you see, it will always have a opposing 7th house lord energy. So firstly, if you're expecting your spouse to be similar like you or a lot like you, then I'm sorry, you're being just plain stupid. You need to in fact enjoy the diversity, enjoy the differences, because that is the flavor which comes in. One fruit by itself may be tasty, but a fruit salad where each one of the fruits have their own flavor, they stand out. You are bringing the fruits together, but if you take each individual fruit, you will enjoy the flavor. But a bowl of fruit salad is yummiest, is tastiest, it's also healthiest. So in your life you need to have this fruit salad effect in your relationship also. I'm not saying you need to have a lot of fruits in your life, which means a lot of partners. I am saying treat the opposite partner as somebody who brings in that different flavor to you, because they are a different fruit than you, but they also complement, and it is always better to have complementary energies, because then it's a balance between you and how the other person thinks, and many times you can be corrected by the other person. So rather than having reservations that my partner is very different from me, or he looks or she looks in a different tangent, enjoy those differences and live with those differences. If you start respecting those differences, if you start enjoying those differences, then it's not such a big problem. So first is that. So if your take on life is that complementary forces are good, complementary energies are good, then a lot of our problems are maybe solved. The other challenges which may come in also, as I've said before, the relationship of the 7th house lord with the planets which are placed in the yogas and doshas. But when you look at the Darakaraka is the planet with the lowest degrees in your horoscope, and it is also to be said to be represent the spouse. And if the Darakaraka has an inimical relationship with the 7th house lord, then two challenges may come in, then two problems may come in. Let's look at some of the examples where the Darakaraka and the 7th house lord are on opposing energies or different energies, what challenges may be coming into the married life. Now we all know about the planetary energies, that some planets are friendly with some other planets and not so friendly with other planets. So if the 7th house lord and your Darakaraka are inimical planets to each other, for example, if your 7th house lord is Sun, whereas your Darakaraka is Saturn. So when can your 7th house lord be Sun? When your ascendant is Aquarius, and then Leo sign becomes your 7th house and Sun becomes your 7th lord. And if your Darakaraka is Saturn, which is the ascendant ruler also, which also represents your energies also, and if Sun and Saturn have the 7th lord and the Darakaraka relationship also, then there may be differences of opinion between you and your spouse. Sun being the 7th house lord, and these energies are not of your spouse alone. Some of the energies of the 7th house can also be exhibited by you in your relationship. 7th house lord doesn't mean, or 7th house doesn't mean your spouse's energies. It means what kind of energies rule the relationship. So if your 7th house is Leo and 7th lord is Sun, the effects of Sun may be brought into the relationship by either of you or both of you, which means the relationship may go through a Sun effect, which means there may be a tendency of one of them wanting to rule the other, wanting to show leadership over the other, showing maybe narcissism over the other, wanting to show that I'm greater than you, or I know more than you, or false pride coming into the relationship. So which can be brought by either of the two. It doesn't mean the 7th house energies, doesn't mean it is the spouse's energy. It means that energy is coming into the union, it coming into the relationship. So don't assume that the 7th house energies are that of spouse. It is the energies brought into the union. Now if the Darakaraka is Saturn, as we said, and because Sun and Saturn are inimical to each other, the 7th house energies may come in, but the Saturnian energies may also come in. What is Sun? Sun says, follow me, allow me to take the lead, listen to me, I know better than you, I know more than you, I'm more intelligent than you, so allow me to take the lead. What is Saturn? Saturn says, okay, commitment is important, loyalty is important, discipline in life is very important, organization is very, very important. So if somebody always wants the other person to follow, but is not disciplined in his or her life, is not structured, is not organized, doesn't take time off for the relationship, obviously the relationship will go down. Spouse may say, you want me to listen to you, you think you're always correct, and you want me to be a servant. Okay, I will serve in the relationship. However, there are many things which you don't do. You don't take more responsibility, you don't take more accountability, you only want to lead, you only want to give orders. It will not work. You're not organized, you're not disciplined, and above all, you're not patient with Saturnian energies bringing. So there is a tug of war between the two energies when 7th Lord energies and the Darakaraka energies are at contrary energies to each other. Secondly, for example, if Moon and Venus are involved here, then what happens? Here we are talking about Capricorn being the ascendant and Moon being the 7th Lord, and Venus now is your Darakaraka, and we know that Venus is not great friends with Moon anyways. So what happens now? So the Moon energies means an emotional person wants more attention, wants you to be more understanding, wants you to be more calm, wants you to be paying more attention. But what are the Venus energies? Venus energies are you give me more gifts, you pamper me, you treat me with a lot of softness, you give me good things, you bring in more intimacy into the relationship, bring in more sexual energy into the relationship. But the Moon energy is that, okay, sexual energy is not so important for me, the understanding part is more important to me, the emotional aspect is more important for me. If I am not emotionally connected to you, then I don't want to indulge in the intimacy act, I don't want to indulge in the sexual act also. So this is a tug of war energy. Say Mars and Mercury are the two planets, where Mars is the 7th Lord and Mercury is your Darakaraka. Then what may happen? Mars, very strong energies, aggression also into the relationship, wanting to hold your hand, take you along, because the person feels that there is a certain goal we both need to achieve. One of the goals is also that both of us look in the same direction, with the same intensity, with the same focus, and both of us work hard on the relationship. But the Mercury energy is, hang on, I don't see why we should be doing this. I don't see that as practical. I don't think that is logical. That doesn't make sense. Why we even doing this? You don't think, you just want to rush into doing things. You never listen. None of your choices are intelligent choices. This kind of energy then comes into the marriage. Now I'm not saying the spouse does it or you do it. I'm saying when the opposing energies come into the union because of one being an opposing energy with the other, one 7th house lord being in opposing energies or inimical planet to the Darakaraka, that energy comes into the union and spoils the foundation, spoils the basis, spoils the equilibrium, spoils the balance in the relationship. And so if you're having regular challenges in your relationship, check the placement of the 7th house lord, check the placement of what planets are in the 7th house, check there is no inimical energy coming into on the 7th house or the 7th house lord, there are no bad doshas, and also check if the 7th house lord and the Darakaraka inimical to each other or even place in the dusthanas to each other, say 6-8 relationship with each other, or they actually go into the dusthanas, both the 7th house lord and the Darakaraka. We have also made another video on when 7th house lord and the Darakaraka both go into dusthanas, or one goes and gets placed with Rahu and the other goes and gets placed with Ketu also, or one is placed with Rahu or Ketu and the other comes under the aspect of either of the two or the same planet, and both of them while being inimical to each other are also under the influence of another inimical planet, which could either be Rahu or a Ketu or a Saturn. Then these challenges may come in. So friends, lot of reasons can be the reason why there are challenges in our relationship, and one of the reasons, not the only important reason, but one of the reasons could also be that the 7th house lord and the Darakaraka are inimical to each other. So if you are able to see other placements, if none of them is as serious but these two are inimical to each other, then see if they are also placed in 6-8 relation to each other, where one of them is placed 6 houses away from the other, which means automatically the other is 8 houses away from the former, and if both are also going into the dusthanas. The other flavor is which is your 7th lord in your D9 chart, in your Navama chart. But for today we will talk only about the Lagna chart and how the inimical relationship between your 7th house lord and the Darakaraka can bring in challenges if you are not able to understand what the energies are, what the opposing energies are, and if both of you are not ready to work on the relationship, both of you are not able to understand that there are complementary energies necessary to have better balance in the relationship, then your relationship will always be going south, whoever you are with, whether you are with one partner, two partners, or even three partners. So friends, understand your relationship well and please focus on this. This is one of the most important factors of your life. Could be a make or break area of your life also, and your ability to be able to attain the purpose of your life and to lead a more fruitful, prosperous and happy married life. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me. The link is given below. Until some other time, some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.